Good morning. First off, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahshua HaMashiach in the Most High. And to let you know, I got my book, dog. But besides that, on a more cynical point though, no, I want to say this, that I am pro-black. I'm not pan-African. And the reason why I say I'm not pan-African, because we as people, we have a short-term memory. We quick to forget that it was the African that sold our ancestors into slavery. Now, they sold us into slavery. They never came to help us. They never did anything for us. So you have sources that states that the Africans said they sold the Hebrews into slavery. I don't care who they sold, the Hebrews or the Africans. The point is, they sold us into slavery, into bondage. Now, we've been in captivity for 400 years in America, and not one time did they ever come over here and try to fight for us. Now, any other country who people would have got taken and into captivity would have fought for their people. But Africans didn't fight for us. So you run around being pro-African and Africa this, Africa that. Like, don't forget that Africans sold us into America. Like, they basically wrote us off like a bad check, man. They sold us and they didn't care about us. Never once did they did anything to try to help us out till this day. So even though I appreciate the history and the historic events that happened in Africa, I would not call myself pro-African, because I know that if it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't be in captivity. Like, they helped put us in captivity. Like, they sold us to the enemy. So if you want to get on the Europeans for repetitions for 400 years of captivity and all the work we did and stuff, well, get on the Africans too for repetition, for selling us away. Like, they just as much responsible as the Europeans. The Europeans ain't go to Africa and just take us. They went over there and bought us because the Africans sold us away. So this notion that Africa is all this, Africa is great, but the African did a misservice to us. And still to this day, they come over here and they look down on us like we did something wrong. Like, we ain't the one who did nothing wrong. Like, we suffering and been suffering and still suffering. And ain't nobody helping us. Y'all ain't never came over here and tried to assist us in no way, shape, or fashion. And now, because of your stupidity, your country not in the state to help nobody, because the world own your country. I do my research. China, all them people, the Europeans, the Asians, everybody got a hand in Africa taking away the resources. The Africans don't even own their own stuff no more. So you is not in a position to really do anything, because all your resources are being wiped out by the world. So everybody pro-African, like, it's nothing wrong with loving Africa and loving the history of Africa. But you can't get too twisted into Africa to where you wearing the African shirt and dresses and you quick to forget that they the one who sold our ancestors into slavery. Like, our ancestors was beaten, were brutally murdered. Like, the babies of our ancestors, the black baby, was used as alligator bait. You see how they hung us from trees. All these killing and lynchings and burnings. All this stuff that we had to endure for 400 years, still to this day, of this systematic oppression that is placed on us because y'all the one who sold us over here. So this notion that we just supposed to be all African and all holding hands, no. Like, I value the history of Africa. I value what Africa is. But the people of Africa got some making up to do, man. Like, I'm not going to put all responsibility on the Europeans, even though they share much of the blame. But the Africans get part of this pie too, because y'all sold us into this captivity. So I'm pro-black, bruh. I love my black brothers and sisters across the world. I'm here to unite us and to unify us in truth and in faith, and to keep us walking strong on this planet. But I'm not here to hold a standard high of a group of people who never cared about us. You sold us into slavery. You got rid of us. You never came back to do anything for us. You don't help us out. You never gave us anything. You never offered us anything. So on that notion, man, like I say, I love Africa. I learned the history. But I'm not about to be pro-African when they the reason we was in captivity for 400 years. They sold our ancestors into slavery. The Africans sold our ancestors into slavery. We went through a hellish environment with the Europeans because these punk ass Africans sold us into slavery. I don't mean to cuss, but it make me upset when I think about me as a black man and the struggle that my people had to go through in America and still going through this day because of the Africans never did anything for us, but all of a sudden we just supposed to be pro-African. I mean, pan-African, like Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm just gonna be all for Africa. Africa the greatest, Africa this, and we need to go back to Africa. Man, then you know Africa stole our ancestors away. Our women and children and boys was raped and killed and mutilated over here in America behind y'all stupid decision to sell us away. So how is this supposed to comfort us? How am I supposed to feel comfort going back to a country that has no respect or love for us in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, do your history, man. Learn what's going on in the world. Just because somebody black don't mean they good, yo. You know what I mean? Africa have a lot of good cultural history. They did a lot for human civilization, no doubt about that. They provided a lot. The Moors from Morocco helped educate the Europeans and all them good stuff they did, what they built. It's nothing to take away from what they did. All I'm saying is, I can't be pan-African knowing you sold us away, you never did nothing for us, you never came to get us, you never offered assistance, you did nothing but come to America and look down on us as if we did this to ourselves. Know what I mean? It's basically black American man versus the world right now. You know what I mean? We are here in this country by ourselves trying to build a community for our society with no help from no one of the outside world through a systematic racism that been pushed on us for over 400 years in this country. Do your history, man. There's nothing wrong with learning about your history of your people. But don't be running around here being pan-African and loving Africa when them people the one who sold your ancestors away into captivity. I mean, be smart, man. Don't be stupid, man. Read your book, man. Get up on your knowledge. Pick up a book, man. Pick up a book. Get off the tube, pick up a book.